Yes, who's back? Welcome back to another vlog, day 2 in Valencia. I'm trying to get a little tradition going by doing an outfit reveal in this big ass mirror. As you can tell, it's the exact same outfit, but not quite just yet. Pink sweater this time. Oh, somebody wants to get in. Yeah, you know, I live here. I'm basically like the doorman. Everybody knows me. I let people in and shit. Local status. Hey man, the struggle of being a vlogger. You think you want to live my life? You think you want to be me? Live these awkward moments? You can't imagine the sheer pain, terror I go through anytime I have to stop talking to myself when an actual human being pops up. Anyway, okay, I'm over the intro. Time to get breakfast. I'm starving. Just so we're very clear, I'm not a travel vlogger, but anytime something like this pops up, I just have to share this with you guys. Hey, this right here is what I need my front door to look like. Woo! That was a delicious breakfast. €7.50, guys. Talk about low cost of living. That is one of the main things I love about Spain besides the climate. Mind you, I added tuna to that and another coffee. So I basically asked them, when I got the sandwich, you saw me intervene. I was like, this is way too many carbs, which is typical for Spain and the Mediterranean. They love bread, way too much bread and not enough protein. So I basically opened up the sandwich and took the other half and told them, like, can you put tuna on this? So they did, and then I had another coffee. Also, a great thing here is, like, when you get a juice, you actually get a actual juice. Like, it's not some sugary, like fabricated Coca-Cola type juice. It's like actual oranges being pressed into a juice. But staying on the topic of low cost of living, try going to Belgium, try going to Germany, try going to the US, try going anywhere basically in the Western world and have breakfast for €7.50. And that is something that I have grown to really dislike about Belgium. It has gotten so expensive. Sometimes I feel like we're living in Switzerland, man. The one thing about Valencia that I have noticed is that wherever I go, I feel like I'm being chased by construction sites. I mean, in essence, I guess this is a great thing. It means that the city is prospering and they're building new things and they're making things newer and better, and it's a good thing. It means that they're going up. Guys, how incredibly small the world can be. I'm literally just minding my business, walking around, and this guy shows up. Now, last time I saw him, this is Dieter, he's also Belgian. We actually met 3 years ago in Medellin, in Colombia. We were staying at the same hostel. We hung out for like a week or something, and then you went into a different direction. And I'm just standing here, and all of a sudden, this guy yells out, "Godverdomme," which means like, holy shit. Right? And I was like, fucking hell. And I just bumped into him, so amazing. This is a great guy. He's actually an artist from Belgium. Haven't seen him since Colombia. Now here again, we reunite. What are you doing here again? You wanna?
I'm visiting my dad, and actually I'm gonna go for a tattoo right now. So
he's gonna get a tattoo right now. We're gonna link up. We're gonna, yeah, man, awesome. We're gonna get some drinks after that, but just wanted to. I had to obviously put this in the vlog, man. This
is like a synchronicity, right? You know, to be honest, like I was thinking like, dude, it would be cool like meeting someone I know from the past in Valencia, and then like the last day I'm here, you're basically just like, I'm seeing you of all people, right?
This is awesome, man. Hey, he's gonna get a tattoo and then we're gonna link up and catch up.
On the silk. But the only problem with silk is you have to go all the way to China to get the silk. So the Moors sent two spies to China, got the silkworm, got the silk tree, pray nothing died in the way. They got the silk, and we started producing silk in Valencia. Imagine now we have a port in the middle of Europe producing silk, and people don't have to go to China. We have a lot of money, Gucci bag kind of money, and that's how we could make this building. This side of the building was built in the late 1400s, and it only took 15 years to build. That's why we had a lot of money. But she's finding their nearest brothel because in those times, because there was a lot of commerce, there was a lot of sex work, so the brothel was quite close to here.
What you just saw was me actually hijacking a walking tour. I ran into this group that was obviously being guided, and I just decided to join in. It was quite interesting up until the point where they went inside that building over there, and guess which dumbass forgot his mouth mask at his Airbnb? Exactamundo. So I decided to be a creepy stalker and stake outside the building until they come back out in hopes of being able to join in again. As I was sitting here, I actually had to make a decision that I've been putting off for the longest time. A decision that you guys are undoubtedly absolutely unaware of. An aspect of my life that I don't really talk about or show on this channel, which is the aspect of the sport of basketball. You may or may not know, I love basketball and I love playing basketball. I used to play basketball at a pretty high competitive level when I was younger. Now obviously, due to my cancer and my compartment syndrome in my left leg, I was no longer able to play. However, about 2 years ago, I picked up the ball again and started joining in these pickup games that my old friends still run. And they actually have a team that plays actual games in an actual competition. And because I was still pretty decent, I decided to join the team. Now in the beginning, this all went really well. But what has happened is that due to me bulking up, building more muscle, getting bigger, and just overall getting older, and no longer being used to having to play basketball games once a week, my right Achilles started becoming infected. Long story short, I actually developed an injury that I've kind of just been ignoring, even though I've been going to physiotherapy for that as well. Besides the fact that he's working on my jaw, he's also working on the Achilles. But I just can't really play anymore. That I didn't want to accept it. I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. So I basically took a month off, had treatment, and I played another game 2 days ago, and I sucked. I was trash. I am no longer getting to the level that I'm accustomed to being at because I just can't move. I already have very limited lower body mobility and strength overall, but with an Achilles that's infected, I'm just basically dead in the water out there, and I just suck. Like, there's no other way around it. If you would see me play, you would think like I'm the worst guy on the court. Maybe not the worst guy, but that's how I feel. And mind you guys, I've always been a pretty offensive player. Like, I'm a guy that is used to scoring a lot of points. I'm a shooter, and if I'm relatively healthy, I know I can do that, and I did that with this team as well before I got injured. But now I'm just out there basically making a fool out of myself. At least that's how I feel. And just sitting out here waiting on the guided tour group to come back out, I just kind of realized that I had been putting off this decision. And I just emailed my club manager that I will no longer be participating in games. And I'm out. I'm done. I quit. And I know you guys are thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? How is that a big deal? It's just basketball. But for me, this is like the end of a part of my life. I've been playing since I was 13 years old, and I identify as a basketball player even when I don't play, in a weird way, if that makes sense. So I'm sad. I'm genuinely sad, but I guess at the same time a little bit relieved that I finally come to grips with reality. That's the thing about traveling. When you are in a different setting, when you are no longer a prisoner to your context, and you're no longer a prisoner to the perception of the person that you're supposed to be in the place that you live, you're actually able to take a step back and look at things from a much more clear angle. And that's why I think I was also able to make this decision right here and right now. Had I still been in Belgium today, I still would have put it off and acted like it was all good, when really it's not. And I'm just continuing to jeopardize my health, but also on my mental state. So it had to be done, and I did it, but it doesn't mean that I feel good about it. Wow, where do I even begin? All right, so it is it is exactly 6 p.m. right now. I just spent the last 3 hours having lunch and drinks with Dieter, the guy that I ran into earlier on this day, as you can see in the vlog. Now what actually happened is Dieter's dad moved to Valencia 2 years ago. So I was under the impression that I was gonna meet Dieter for lunch, and I show up and he's there with his dad, right? So naturally we sit down, we start talking, and it's so crazy how life works and how I always talk about action trumps all and you gotta push that first domino, because I went from running into a guy I hadn't seen in 3 years, a Belgian guy that last time I saw him we were in Medellin, Colombia. He takes me to his dad who moved here 2 years ago, and his dad basically was telling me about Valencia and all the great things that it had to offer for 1 hour straight. Like, he was just giving me all of his intel, his experiences, and I was just sitting there like, this is just the ultimate confirmation, the ultimate proof that everything does happen for a reason. And it's so crazy because I actually went back to my Airbnb before I met Dieter, because I had to take care of some things. And right before I was on my way to go meet him, I told my Airbnb host, like, I told him what happened. I told him I ran into this guy that I hadn't seen until 3 years ago in Medellin, and I told my host, I said, I'm gonna ask him what I should do with my life, because I think there's something he has to tell me. I think that the universe made me run into him today because he has a message he has to give to me. Like, I was joking about it. I was, just like making fun of it. But as it turns out, his dad just basically completely sold me on Valencia and all the great things that I have to offer. Guys, do you remember what I said about Valencia being one big construction site? I can't even vlog for 2 minutes straight without running into some crazy ass noise. So let me just walk a little bit and continue my story so you can actually hear what I'm saying. How can you call that a coincidence? Like, how is that a coincidence? It can be a coincidence when you run into somebody that you haven't seen in a couple of years. But then for that person to take you for lunch with his father who just moved here, when you're thinking about moving here, that's not a coincidence, man. That is something greater at work. That's all I'm gonna leave it at.